Gone are the days when you have to sit in a classroom for driver's ed. A new Minnesota law now allows driving schools across the state to offer the classes fully online. Danny Spiewak is here with more on what this means. Hey, Danny.
Hey, Chris. During COVID, some driving schools in Minnesota had already shifted online for the classroom portion of their instruction. But for the first time this year, there's a new law in place to expand that access and allow students to take driver's ed at their own pace.
For new drivers, there's no better feeling than passing that first test.
I just got my permit.
15-year-old Bodie Hosmer aced his written exam after taking 30 hours of instruction through A+ driving school in White Bear Lake.
I feel like I got a good experience, yeah.
Which, full disclosure, is owned by his dad, Pete.
And he would tell you it's amazing and that the instructors are great.
But Pete Hosmer's son took a different path than past students. He's among the first to take driver's ed classes fully online after A+ Driving launched a new program last month.
Still usually about a 2-week-long process. Kids can take it whenever they want at any time. They don't have to have an instructor present.
The legislature formally authorized online driver's ed last session through the transportation bill. So far, the state has approved 18 programs for online classes.
Kids who live far away from a town or, in greater rural areas, this is really going to help.
DFL Representative Aaron Cagle says some driving schools initially expressed concerns about not having live instructors, but the new law still requires instructors to monitor students' progress and remain available to answer any questions.
The driving schools really wanted to have kind of that live interaction between students and the teachers. That was somewhere where we tried to compromise.
For Bodie Hosmer, online classes are just a start.
He did the classroom training online, but he's still going to have to do his behind-the-wheel lessons in person.
But at least he has his permit now after scoring 100 on the test.
Well, I'm not saying my program is perfect, but in his case it was.
All online driver's ed programs in Minnesota must be licensed through the state. The 18 programs in place right now are spread out across Minnesota. There's some in the metro, others in places like Rochester, Mankato, and Alexandria. But again, like you just heard Pete Hosmer say at A+ Driving, students will still need to take that in-person behind-the-wheel classes before they actually get their driver's license. Back to you.
Yeah, I know there was a lot of talk about being backed up, those classes for the DMV being backed up. Any progress from the state on that, or?
Yeah, those driving tests themselves, I think, are still pretty hard to come by.
Yeah.
But these are the preparations for getting your permit. So that's the first step. And then, of course, doing the behind the wheel and getting there for your license.
Right. All right. Thank you, Danny.